All right then. So there has been some discussions in the crossout forums where we have talked about the acceleration curves of wheels and hovers. There are some people who claim that the acceleration curve of wheels and hovers is identical and that the differences only come down to the power draws mainly, or the possibility that the cabin's top speed is higher than the speed cap of hovers themselves, and thus that sort of skews the acceleration curve. This video will prove you that that is not true. I'm going to show you how the wheels accelerate, and then I'm going to show you how hovers accelerate, and hopefully that'll be it then. So for demonstration, I've got here a Torero cabin, a Colossus engine, and then 4 Shiv wheels, which are my lightest wheels that I have right now. This is just for we can do this demonstration using just bare cabins. That's actually enough to prove my point. So so here we got this thing. It's got a top speed of 107 kilometers per hour, not second. And here's how this thing accelerates. Like that. If you paid close attention to the speedometer on the lower right corner, you probably noticed that the acceleration tapers off as you're about to approach the maximum speed. And I'll show that again, and that's basically the acceleration curve of wheels. It's somehow logarithmic, the acceleration begins quick and you gain speed a lot initially, but as you approach the top speed of your cabin, the amount of speed you gain starts to taper down. So let's look at that again, and it tapers off like that. This acceleration curve scales across your top speed of your craft. So if you equip a lower top speed cabin, something like a Bastion over here, with much higher cabin power, so the acceleration here is even faster, but the top speed is lower. You're gonna see that same tapering once we approach the top speed this craft. Here goes nothing, and it slows down towards the end. And we can equip Hans on the base. We can put this guy to increase the top speed a little bit further, and we'll still see the same sort of tapering off, and it just scales across its top speed, which is now 70 kilometers per hour. There it slows down nicely. It slows down. Doesn't slow as much now because we have like ludicrous amount of cabin power and no weight at all. So that right there proves that the acceleration of wheeled vehicles slow down as you approach the maximum speed of your craft. If you put more weight, it'll slow down even further because the acceleration in itself starts to slow down as you add more weight or wheels as you reduce the cabin power. So what happens if we add hovers in this place? I've got some Icarus IV hovers, which are the ones that drain a little bit more power. The Icarus 7 draw 5% of power, and these guys draw 8%. So these have the worst acceleration out of the two. So let me just get out of the garage. This slope ruins my day. Ooh, it's so twitchy. Now, are we gonna see any tapering of acceleration? Remember, we are limited by the cabin's top speed of 70 kilometers per hour because if we have the Hans co-driver. Doesn't seem like that. it seems as if the acceleration is completely linear. Let's try it over here again. Boom. No tapering whatsoever. And just to drive it home, you know, I'm put something else in here, so we'll take the Hans co-driver away. I was actually gonna test it without the Hans. So now the top speed is 64 kilometers per hour, or so, 65, something like that. We are not limited by the hover's top speed, we are limited by the cabin. Even more so than we were just a second ago. Boom. Now you could argue that, hey, it's better mix. You know, you put you took 4 wheels out, you put 4 hovers in. That's, you know, that's less cabin power. Well, that's all right. You know, let's add some wheels. You know, let's put an extra pair of Shiv wheels in here. The power draw of this setup is already higher than the power draw of 4 Shiv wheels. You know, the 4 Shiv wheels draw like 48% of power, and this combination draws 60% of power, if I remember correctly. Boom. No tapering whatsoever. So the low power draw isn't the reason why, you know, why the hovers accelerate like this. It's just a feature in the hovers themselves. I mean, we can take out, you know, we can take out the engine. I mean, we can take out the Bastion. Let's put in growl cabin. You know, this guy has like awful cabin power. So we have like greatly reduced the cabin power. This has much lower acceleration than the or much lower cabin power or engine power than the other craft had. With the Bastion and engine. Boom. We just go straight to the, you know, top speed. And if you don't believe me, you know, now you could say, but now it's the top speed that's skewing the result. Well, let's put a, I don't know, let's put a jawbreaker, you know. That has a top speed of 60 kilometers per hour. Is this correct? Yeah, that's correct. So now we are definitely limited by the cabin. And not by the hovers. Boom. You know, the acceleration is completely linear. So, you know, I hope that, you know, answers your questions about it. Like, is the acceleration same? Is it different? Yes, it is not the same. All right. So, you know, the gameplay implications, of course, are, you know, that, you know, you have, you know, if you put something like Echo with, you know, Bigfoots, and it takes something like this guy. This guy has 8 Bigfoot wheels, and, you know, and a Colossus engine. You know, it'll accelerate rather slowly, and then on top of that, the acceleration tapers off as you're about to approach the maximum speed of 75 kilometers per second per hour. I mean, once we're getting close, it starts to slow down, and it's almost impossible to get the maximum speed of these guys. Like, it's just not gonna happen. Well, we can barely make it, you know. Yeah. If we drive a little bit downhill. Yeah. So, you know, that's that. But then, you know, you take out the Bigfoots, you put in, you know, some Icarus hovers. You know, a guy like, I don't know, this guy, for example. This guy has 10 hovers, which is a bit of an overkill. Most people actually run 9 or so. And you accelerate it. The acceleration is completely linear. it just goes straight to maximum speed, no tapering whatsoever. You know, these guys accelerate ludicrously fast, and on top of that, they have like easier time to maintain their top speed. And that's one of the balance issues in high power score battles. Yeah, but you know that's it. You know, thanks for watching. I hope you know the answer now.